Hi, my name is Greg Nelson. I'm the owner of Nelson Construction and Renovations here in Clearwater, Florida. And I'm going to talk to you about our custom millwork division. At my company, we have our own cabinet shop. It's a 5,000 square foot facility here in Clearwater, which is separate from our studio building. And we've been building custom millwork now for about 12 years. We started doing custom millwork mainly because it actually makes us go a little bit faster on our projects. There can tend to be a lot of lead times and wait for cabinets, in addition to things falling between the cracks. I mean, when you're dealing with cabinets, you're dealing with, you have a variable of about a 1/16th to a 32nd of an inch, and you gotta, most of our clients, we're dealing with custom cabinetry. We're not just doing, set boxes or, store-bought stuff out of the store, out of the big box stores. It's all custom made in a house that we built or a house that we've renovated or whatever. We've also done a lot of historic restorations where the need to be able to do custom millwork is very needed, like old wainscot designs. We did a house that was about 112 years old, and it had a very low kind of a chair rail with a wainscoting in it. And we were adding on and doing a whole bunch of stuff in the house, and we needed to mimic some of this stuff. Some of this old stuff was made out of plaster. We actually had to go to a company. We had to make a custom knife. We put it on our shaper. We made the profiles out of wood. We can make wood panels. We've had to match. We've made oak doors, custom oak doors that, pocket doors that are, look like some old Austrian door. Cabinets, islands, closet systems. We even made a hideaway bed in an office building for an office executive one time. We've done a lot of stuff, and at the end of the day, it gives us that little custom cutting edge of being able to be custom. Somebody might want to put their phone in a drawer and have a USB jack at the back of the drawer so they can plug their phone in it and close the drawer. And you're just not going to get stuff like that with your cheaper cabinetries. So we've been doing custom millwork now for 12 years. We have our own spray booth in our shop. We have some CNC equipment. We have panel processing equipment. We build all the boxes in-house, and we usually source out our doors and drawers. Everything is hardwood, maple, or all of our plywood is cabinet grade Baltic birch. We can do Jatobi, Brazilian cherry, zebra wood plywood boxes. We can build the three main styles of cabinetry, which is going to be your inset, which is the highest tier, your framed, and your European. Most people are going to go with the European style cabinets, which is basically an open face box. So if you were to picture a box you open the door and there's no frame around that box. And we usually put what's called an edge banding on the front of the box. It can be a stain grade edge banding, so we can stain it, or it's colored, and it gets basically ironed onto the front of the cabinet grade plywood. A lot of people like the European style cabinets, one, because they can be a little less expensive even though it's custom cabinets, but two, because they're not so restrictive. You've got a little bit more room inside the cabinet. And the next tier would be your framed cabinets. This is where you have a box. If this is the edge of your box and you've got a frame on it like this, and there's a frame that goes around the box, and your doors kind of close on top of the box. That was popular in the 80s, I would say, a lot. There's still some situations where we're matching something and we've got to build something like that, but a lot of people don't go with a frame box new. Your next tier up, which is the most expensive one, is called Inset cabinetry. So on the Inset cabinets, you have a box and you have a door that closes, and it insets inside the box. It recesses here as opposed to going on top like this. And it's a very luxurious look when you see a set of inset cabinets. The gap is about a 1/16th of an inch all around the cabinet. And if anybody's ever tried to hang a cabinet door or a regular door, it's a trick to get that gap to be exactly the same. And when you're dealing with such a small gap, if it's an 1/8 inch here and a 1/16th of an inch here, it just looks bad. Inset cabinets have a very luxurious look when they're done right, and it takes another level of detail to get an inset cabinet done. It's very custom. And with all three of these cabinet types that I'm talking about, the European, the framed, and the inset, within all of those cabinets, you still have all of your design style selections, your profiles on your doors, you know, your hardware, your handles, your pulls, all this sorts of things, your paint colors. If you want paint grade, which means you're painting it, or stain grade, which means you're staining it. We do stain grade cabinets all the time, but it's helpful to know up front. And then we go, okay, good, we're gonna put a stain grade veneer on the wood, and it's gonna take a stain after it. We can do gel stains, we can do lacquers, we can do any of this kind of thing. Paint grade, we put them in the spray booth, we spray them any custom color you want. All of our paint products are gotten from a specific store here in Pinellas County, and it's specifically made for painting cabinets. They're very high build, very, very durable cabinet finish paints. We use a system called HVLP, which is high volume, low pressure. It's the same type of machine that you might spray a car with, and that's how we're spraying our cabinets. We've had clients that wanted to go really eco-friendly, and they don't want to have a bunch of VOCs, and VOC means volatile organic compound. And sometimes paint finishes can off-gas, and people want to go really green on their cabinet. And we do have a cabinet line, a paint line that we can use to paint those. However, they're not as durable as the regular paint finishes. Most of the time, all your off-gassing from cabinet painting is gonna happen while it's in our shop in the spray booth. I think 75% of it all happens within the first 24, 48 hours after it's done being painted. So by the time it comes into your home, it's not gonna be off-gassing anymore. We recommend using a really heavy-duty paint. I come from a background, if it stinks more, it's better. So we like to use a really good solid finish on those cabinets so that, you know, handprints and everything and bumps and everything can be easily wiped off later. It's a very low chance of things off-gassing from those cabinets a week or 2 weeks after they've been fabricated and painted in our shop. But the ability to be able to do custom cabinetry has been an amazing upgrade to our company, because we have people that want custom things done and we can do them. And the other thing that happens is the project moves a little bit quicker. You have our shop manager coming to the site. If anybody's ever renovated a kitchen before, you got one of everything in that one little kitchen, or a, you know, custom vanity maybe. You got one of everything in there. You got lights, you got a backsplash, you got plugs that are positioned for your different appliances, your toaster, your coffee machine, whatever. They might be in a custom location. You might have an appliance garage or some other cabinet accessories. The layout on the electrical boxes, the switch for the LED lights, all the way that you have it organized, the button for the carburetor, or whatever it might be. All these things are in the walls at the time of rough-in, before we hang the sheetrock, before the cabinet comes in, right? It's very important to make sure everything's done right. I can't tell you how many times that the walls have been closed up, the painting is all done, and we're getting ready to come and install the cabinets. And there's outlets at the wrong spot, and drywall has to come off, things have to get moved, switch has to go around. We didn't know that the end panel was going in there, or what have you. There's always a communication breakdown between, you know, a cabinet shop and the builder. Not always, but there's a lot of good guys out there that know how to coordinate everything. But with our custom cabinets, it's wonderful, because our shop manager and our superintendent, my superintendent understands that he's not allowed to close up the wall unless the shop manager has gone to the job site and given them the big thumbs up, says, okay, everything works with my shop drawings for the cabinets that I'm building for this place. So what ends up happening at the end of the day is we end up doing things one time instead of going backwards and doing them more than once. And not to say that things still don't happen, but it definitely cuts the fat of about 50% of the mistakes out of there when you're doing cabinets in-house and when it's being controlled by the builder, and to boot by a design build outfit that's also doing those shop drawings at the beginning. But also a part of our design build process is we're doing millwork design and cabinet design, because that's usually a big cost impacting item. And you want to know what, you know, we've done that floor plan showing the cabinets, but we're also going to do maybe some 3Ds if you want that. We suggest you do some 3Ds, some simple 3Ds, because there's usually a lot more money per square foot in a kitchen, so it's nice to kind of see it in a 3D. And then also we can move into doing some shop drawings and get some real details in on the cabinets. Also, as part of our cabinetry, people sometimes they mention, well, we want to have the soft close hardware or whatever. And nowadays, soft close hardware is not an upgrade. That's just something that we always do. And when it comes to picking your handles and the knobs on the cabinets, our designer Yocasta, she's going to help you pick all of those things and do kind of a design spec book of things to make sure things don't clash within the style that you want. If, we had one guy, he wanted to get this fan for the living room, and the wife wanted to get this pendant light over the kitchen, and they just clashed because nobody's thinking about, oh yeah, well, we're going for contemporary modern, but this thing is, and this thing, they don't match. So sometimes it's nice to have a referee in there saying, hey, you guys wanted to go with, a Key West bungalow or a Craftsman style home or whatever design you pick, and these things aren't going to clash with that design or with each other. And the cabinet handles and the knobs are a really important part of that too. The biggest benefit about a builder doing cabinets in-house, and the biggest benefit that we've observed doing all of our millwork in-house, is it definitely reduces the overall time of the project. The build goes a little bit smoother, less mistakes are made, and the client gets that little bit more custom touch that they're looking for in custom millwork. So that's our millwork section. So I'm Greg Nelson. I'm the owner of Nelson Construction and Renovations. And if you have any questions about cabinetry, or you want to see some examples of some of our work, we've got a nice portfolio on our website. Also, we've got a lot of samples and stuff in our office, in our studio in Clearwater on Court Street. Feel free to call, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.